Welcome to another episode of Hanging in the Hideout. I'm your host, Hollywood. I am here with Brandon, City Police, Sheriff's Deputy, Court Bailiff, and
County Investigator.
County Investigator. He's done a little bit of a whole bunch of law enforcement type jobs there. Gonna weed through them and see exactly what is Brandon all about.
Are we sure?
Yeah. Sure appreciate you coming.
Well, I appreciate you having me here.
Yeah. That's a rainy Saturday.
It's Texas. Well, we had a dust storm just a couple of days ago.
Yeah. Well, the great thing is we don't have to worry about the rain.
No.
And yard work.
Yeah, that's very true.
But
It's almost mowing time, so,
I know.
when it warms up, that grass is going to be like,
Oh, yeah.
up. So,
Oh, yeah. And it's going to be, I kind of enjoy the mowing. Sometimes. I'm riding lawnmower, so.
yeah, it's hit or miss. Sometimes I enjoy it. Sometimes it's like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah. And we've been through, 13-degree weather or whatever it got down to?
We have pretty much hit the gambit this winter.
And then, 70s.
Yeah.
2 days later. I don't know why
it was
everybody's
80. It was 85 yesterday, and then today's 49?
Yeah, it got warm yesterday.
Yeah, I know. It was hot.
Yeah. Well, just like every episode, we start the episode by taking a spin in the wheel in front of you.
Okay.
And whatever it lands on, if you spin it to the left, it spins better.
Okay.
Just let me know what it lands on.
Okay. Here we go. Uh-oh. Did I hit it too hard?
That's good.
It landed on, well, let's see. It landed right on the black line between E and T.
You pick one.
We'll do E.
E, okay. So each letter matches a
Oh.
envelope.
Oh, goodness.
And the envelope is what we started calling Mr. Clean and I used to, where we started calling them icebreaker questions. Kind of get started instead of we talked about the weather, but now let's talk about something strange.
Okay.
If you were trapped in a TV show for a month, which one would it be and why?
If I was trapped inside a TV show, which one would it be? Oh, my goodness. Are we talking like any TV show?
Any TV show ever made.
If I was trapped inside a TV show.
We're older, so preferably ones people heard of.
Oh, goodness. Let's see. Can we go old school?
Yeah.
I think Knight Rider.
Ooh. What are you going to be, like Kit?
Yeah.
Or that's
well,
the car.
No,
That's the car.
No, I'd be David Hasselhoff.
Michael.
Yeah, if I'm going to be trapped in there, I'm taking his spot.
Yeah.
But, man, that was the car back then, Kit.
And God, all the things it could do.
Oh, yes, yeah. He could talk to you, back talk you.
Yeah.
But
he did, too.
But you had the truck that you could get, you launched from and went back to.
Yeah.
I guess, Knight Rider. I do have a couple, though. Oh, God, do you remember Blue Thunder?
I remember the name of it. I don't remember the show.
So there was a movie, and then they made a TV show. What was the Nighthawk? Do you remember that one?
I remember Nighthawk, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. I remember watching that as a kid all the time. Okay, I'm going to change my answer. I'm going to go to Nighthawk.
Nighthawk?
Yeah, I'm going to do Nighthawk.
All right.
That was pretty cool.
And why is that?
Oh, man, you get the state-of-the-art helicopter, and you're this clandestine, you're supposed to be dead, and you come back, and nobody knows who you are, doing all your missions and everything. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Quantum Leap was pretty cool.
Oh, Quantum Leap. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, just because he would just become other people.
Get to your damn home, though. My gosh, you can only jump so much. It's like that series just kept going and going.
Well, because you can never stop jumping into some other else's life and to figure out what you are and what you're doing.
Yeah,
that'd be confusing.
That'd be a pain.
That would be like I think he's a woman several times.
He's a woman, and he's special needs people, and just different people of colors and races. Like, how it's hard enough being yourself, more or less.
I got multi-personality issues.
Yeah.
You think? Hey, so question. What was the point of that movie?
Well, Quantum
Was he supposed
Leap.
to fix the people's lives or something? I can't remember what the point was.
I think they did it to go back and change events in time, like stop certain things or
Oh, that's right.
or something to that effect. I can't remember.
Change history for the present?
Yeah,
something like that?
something like that. Yeah. I don't know.
What is your emergency plan if a flock of geese suddenly decide to attack you?
Oh, goodness. Well, is there any weapons involved in
No,
this?
just you and the geese.
Just me and the geese. Well, I guess we're knuckling up and going hardcore. I mean, they're mean.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give geese this. They're mean.
Have you ever been attacked by one?
Yes, I have. I have been chased by one.
So you did run?
No, I stood my ground.
Well, you said chase. I didn't take that as it.
No, I forgot where we were at. We were at a pond or somewhere, and man, this thing came up. Well, I don't know if I can actually say it. We're on a golf course.
Yeah.
And he came at me, and my reaction was, I had a pitching wedge in my hand, and he kind of startled me, and I turned, and my pitching wedge hit him directly in the head. And I don't think I killed him, but I definitely knocked his noggin pretty good. He kind of stumbled off, and when he was swimming, he was kind of like side to side. I was like, yeah. But geese are mean.
Yeah.
We'll
post your address down below for PETA.
Please don't cancel me.
Yeah. If you could have an ultimate or unlimited supply of weird things, not money, what would it be?
Weird things.
Yeah. I said before, like P. Diddy, we know he would get baby oil.
Yeah, Costco.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Weird things. Can't be money. That's a tough one. I mean, because, different people like weird things. I don't know.
I don't know if what mine would be either. Rubber bands?
Well, I mean, I guess you could make a rubber band ball.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Endlessly. You know,
I mean, it'd have to be something that like be useful too.
Oh, well, they already done that though, haven't they? Isn't there some state that has the most giant rubber band ball?
It has to be up north somewhere. Yeah,
it is.
They have weird things up there.
You think those rubber bands would start popping
like
off?
The biggest piece of cheese and things like that.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. A weird thing.
If it was on purpose,
well, yeah, I know.
I would.
But what is weird to some is normal to others. So I mean,
that's true these days.
Yeah.
But if it was like someone came to your house and they walked in and they saw just
be like, dude, you're a freak.
Yeah, like if you had like 50 wetsuits hanging in your living room, like what the hell do you do?
Yeah. I like to scuba dive.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess so weird. Yeah. Well, it's weird that. And I mean, are we talking like practical weird, or are we talking about just
like weird, like
just weird?
Maybe something you like and you just have.
Oh, okay,
unlimited
so
supply.
So I do have that. So I am a kind of a little bit of a Bigfoot, conspiracy theorist, but I like the Bigfoot. Like I have in my shop, on my fridge, like best hide and seeker ever with Bigfoot on it. Bigfoot for president. Things like that. I guess a weird, weird thing.
Did you know that Idaho actually has a Sasquatch hunting season?
Yes, I had heard about that. Yes. Yeah. Well, apparently, I guess up in Washington, they have a certain part that are marked off for sanctuary for Bigfoot. So yeah.
Yeah. So
I think it's up in Washington. It's somewhere up there, Oregon, Washington, that area.
It'd be kind of not a good idea to wear like a Bigfoot costume because someone might actually go hunting.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, in Idaho.
Yeah,
they got a lot of potatoes there. So.
See how long you could go.
Yeah,
dude, I've been surviving 6 years.
Yeah. I'm doing better than Bigfoot actually does.
Yeah, yeah. And then you run into Bigfoot.
Yeah,
he likes what you're wearing.
Could you imagine?
Be like, try to unzip it. Look.
What if he just started talking to you? Like, listen, dude.
Yeah. Want a beer?
Yeah, pretty much. You like some beef jerky?
Yeah.
Break it off.
Yeah. They didn't know I was real.
Yeah.
Thought I was just really committed to my role.
That's the thing is, those guys have been probably watching us forever. Like they're a bunch of idiots.
Yeah. Like Jerry Springer.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what we look like to them.
Pretty much. Yeah, I only imagine. I imagine aliens drive by our planet and roll their windows up. Like, I ain't going down there.
Yeah.
Or they do come. They do come down. They're like, yeah, guys, we don't want anything to do with this planet.
Well, you have all those sightings.
Yeah.
Is that them just passing by like we do
pretty much
at some carnival or something?
We're probably on their freeway, and they're like, yeah, they exit by accident.
Yeah.
They're like,
we'll get gas at the next stop.
Where the hell are we at? What are they doing?
Was this Clown World on the map?
Yeah, no joke. No joke. It's gotten weird these days.
It has. That it has.
I don't understand it either. It's like, these people have their beliefs and they have their way of doing things. And I guess I don't know. I'm just kind of like, what makes sense, And I see people doing some of the things they're doing and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever,
No.
No.
It's like. So, on the topic of UFOs.
Oh, here we go.
Have you heard about the orbs?
Yes.
The ones that I think U.S. Navy, other navies have seen them come out of the ocean and fly like 200 miles an hour and then go just stop and go right back in the ocean.
Yeah.
Real or not real?
Think about this. We know more about the moon than we know about our oceans. I think we've only discovered like 6% of our ocean. And our ocean's, miles and miles and miles deep?
Yeah.
Who's to say somebody hadn't set up shop at the bottom of a trench we'll never get to
The city
right
of
now?
Atlantis getting ready to attack.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just a pearl from one of their giant
anything's
clams.
possible these days. But but seriously though, like we have no clue what's at the bottom of our oceans.
Yeah. Well, according to, I can't remember who it was that said it, but someone said that it's some defense guy, and he said that Iran, I think, has the technology, and so does China, for these anti-gravity vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
They're unmanned because the G-forces would kill anybody inside. But they can go and just park one because they're round. Radar can't pick them up. And that's why they're saying they can successfully just fly wherever.
Yeah.
But they're saying, keep messing with it, we'll park one over the White House. And it's just like, how real is that threat? Do they really have that technology, or is this all with the world of artificial intelligence?
I would be
fake people.
I'd be hard pressed to say Iran has that technology, because they're still living back in centuries ago, killing each. I just don't see technology wise.
They have good, like the Air Force and stuff, or what is equivalent to Air Force.
Yeah, but they don't build their own stuff. They buy everything.
That's true.
So, but now China, who knows what they're doing over there?
They could probably fly their country around.
those guys, they're into everything. So yeah, I would say China, yes. Iran, maybe China gave them one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here. You can buy this, all of us.
Yeah.
Maybe on that. But I thought it was so weird on the whole drone thing that was going on the coast. To me, the indication was we knew what it was because we weren't shooting things. Like, let's be honest, if we didn't know what it was and they were everywhere like that, we had been shooting things down. Like, okay, time to stop. But they let it go and let it go and let it go. And I was like, they probably know something about this.
Well, after that drone stuff, they found some Iranian ship off the coast on our eastern coast.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a miles off, but it had like a little. All it was made was a little ramp with a bunch of drones can fly and take off of it.
Well, and that's what they're into now. You know, they are into drones.
I think this next war is going to be a lot of drone and just blowing crap up.
If you just watch any of the Ukrainian Russian footage, that is going to be modern warfare.
Yeah,
it is drones dropping bombs and tamarite and or thermite. I guess thermite. It looks like a dragon shooting flames from the bottom of those things.
Yeah, flaming dragon.
Flaming dragon.
I don't know what made me say that.
Do not mess with me.
Yeah.
But
it just popped in my head when you said dragon.
But I think modern warfare has just changed to the point to where it won't be. I think as far as like men, armies fighting armies. We kind of saw that with Desert Storm and things like that. It was, we sent in the Air Force first and just bomb the living crap out of everything. Yeah. And then now it's going to be Air Force doing that. Then you're going to send in your drones. And now they've got these robot dogs and, so you're going to see everything like, it'll be more or less trying to see how much you can break a country down before you even send soldiers in to do anything.
Yeah.
I think that's where it's kind of heading.
I think the game will be sabotage, like you're saying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It would be the guys would be on foot sneaking behind all the drones and everything that keep hitting them.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And then, like, it's not going to be when they're pinned down, it's usually call tank, call air support, something. Now
Yeah.
it's gonna be a little drone, just
Oh, yeah.
right to
Yeah.
the enemy, and then
Yeah, I mean, they got drones the size of like flies now that they can, it's like, spy on people and things like that. Just technology is just, well, it's like AI too, I mean,
that's
AI is a
dangerous.
scary thing.
It's gonna be super scary. So I think yesterday I heard that and why we announce our stuff, I don't know, but the Pentagon announced that they're now have a new military strategy AI, and it's like Thunderbolt or something like that's what they named it. Don't even name it,
Yeah.
or don't tell people the name.
Yeah.
That way they don't know what to look for. I mean,
Well, I am sure there's a strategy to it. Maybe they call it Thunderbolt, and that's not what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, why they have 1,500 hackers looking for Thunderbolt.
yeah,
It's really
maybe.
called Lollipop.
Yeah.
Sitting over
Old Android.
or
So you,
something. Yeah, sitting on the side or something like that.
yeah,
So, but yeah, I mean, just the world's just changing so quick. I mean, it's just but I'm sure this is what our parents and their parents felt like. It's just
I think our parents, I know my dad, mom, their era, technology advanced faster than it is now.
oh yeah,
Well, to them, I remember getting my first microwave in the house.
Yeah.
And that was exciting.
oh yeah,
Now these kids, like,
oh I
you
remember.
give them a cell phone and the world disappears.
Oh yeah, I remember when we got a beta
Yeah.
VCR, and
Or
it was like,
the
what
big
is
battle between beta and VHS.
Oh yeah,
Which
yeah.
one is it? Which one's going to last? And I always picked the wrong one.
Yeah,
I picked
it was-
beta.
You picked beta.
I picked not Blu-ray, the DVD, HD DVD. I thought that's going to be the thing
Yeah,
because they were making a big deal about HD TVs.
yeah. Streaming killed that.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember Netflix used to, was it Netflix that used to, a Redbox? Someone would mail you the videos. I think it was Netflix.
Well, I think Redbox became the first big thing, and then
Poor guys.
all these streaming sites came out, and it was like,
Blockbuster.
you don't need Blockbuster. Yeah, I remember. So, oh my gosh, when me and my wife first got married, man, Blockbuster was a place to go. You go in there and rent 2 or 3 movies.
Yeah.
That was the thing to do.
Go behind the black curtain on a. I'm just joking.
No, wrong Blockbuster.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that'll be out on the interstate somewhere.
Yeah. The block busted her.
It says adults only.
Yeah. No, that's. I don't even know what we said. My brother, he took me to a regular video place, and there was this black curtain. He goes, "You know what's back there?" And I was like, "I have no idea." He goes, "It's the adult films. We're kids."
Oh yeah,
I was like, "How do you know that?" And he goes, "I've been told."
I've been told. Have you?
He goes, "You want to go back there?" I'm like, "No."
No.
'Cause, like our parents are like right there. It's like, thanks, brother.
Yeah, yeah. But then your curiosity's like, oh, I wonder what's back there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Hell, you
he
get back
telling
there
the
and you're
truth?
looking like, what do I do with this?
Yes, this is a brother for crying out loud. I mean, you don't know when they're telling the truth.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but no, yeah, the world's changing, man. It's becoming it's a weird place right now.
Yeah, which kind of leads us into some questions about how it's changed.
Okay, let's go.
So, how many years have you been in law enforcement type service?
Oh, let's see, 26.
26 years.
Yeah, 26 years.
I'm going on my 21st, so
Okay.
I could tell you it's a lot, and you got 5 years on me, so I
Yeah.
can only imagine. So, what year was it?
So I got licensed in '99, and I started at a PD in 2000. And I was coming off. I came in, as we said, times were changing from the way they were doing law enforcement, and it was starting to. I'm trying to find the best words for it. Like, they had their way of doing things. It was just a different era. And when I came in, is when racial profiling had begun. The first eyewitness cameras were being put in cars. So we were, more eyeballs on officers pretty much, and reporting and things like that. So that's kind of the era I started in when all that was going on.
So that was about the era that in my department. That was the ending era of, if they fight you, they better go to the hospital.
Yes, and that's kind of my training officers. That's how it was when I first started it. That's how they were teaching it. Like, we will show respect until respect's not shown to us. But if a suspect throws a punch at you, you're expected to defend yourself, and that suspect will make sure to never know not to do that again. That's just the way it was taught.
Yeah. And that's because it was a different world.
It was a
And that's how
completely
they-
different world.
That's how from my understanding, you got respect on the street back
It
then.
it was.
And then next time you see that person, it's like, hey,
oh,
you know, it's like no problem. But
oh yeah, I can tell you right now. You know, I mean, I can remember rolling in with certain old timers on calls, and they'd get out of the car, and people might be fighting or arguing, and they look at the officer and they're like, "Oh, everybody stop," because they knew like he wasn't going to put up with their crap. And if they did try something with them, it was going to be, you're going to remember it for sure.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it was. I was always taught. I mean, I had some good people that trained me, but I've always been kind of the officer. Try to treat it, you know, with honey to get the bees to come to you.
yeah,
Don't be the bear that goes in there trying to take the honey.
mm-hmm.
And I just found that, you know, I mean, now there is situations where you got to be stern with people to let them know that you are not in charge right now. We are. We're going to do our job, and you're going to listen, and we're going to take care of it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, most times I just walk in. Lots of times I just walk in and kind of look around and see what's going on. I wouldn't say a word, listen to people just, you know, arguing. Or, of course, if there was an offense going on, we'd stop it, of course.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I would just try to talk to people the way I'd want someone to talk to me. You know, that was my big thing. And now there are certain people that don't want to be taught, that they just don't understand anything but you being stern with them. And some people don't understand how to talk unless you cuss at them.
Yeah. And I don't know how recently, but I know it was, you know how it is.
Yeah.
It feels like yesterday when you were just starting your
Mm-hmm.
career. At some point, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that officers can use curse words or whatever
Mm-hmm.
to get their, you know, to speak with them, because that's all they know. Like you were just saying.
Yeah.
That's how they communicate. So when you say, you know, stop, and then effing stop, and they're like,
Yeah.
like they
Yeah.
get it.
I mean, but that's how they talk, though. That's how a lot of people talk.
Yeah.
I remember a situation when I was at the sheriff's office. I had gone down to this call, and I pulled up, and as soon as I got out of my car, this woman started cussing me up and down, yelling at me. And I looked at her and I said, "I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to leave. And whenever you're ready to talk, I'll come back." And I got in my car and I turned it on, and she came up and she was like, "Where are you going?" I said, "You're not going to talk to me like that.
Yeah.
I'm here to help you, and I'll help you, but I'm not going to sit here and listen to this."
Yep.
And she was like, I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, I mean, and I would, you know, over the years training officers, like, listen, there's a certain amount of respect that you know, people must show you that you give back. But if they're going to disrespect you, you don't have to be respectful to them. You know, if they're going to talk to you like that, okay, fine then. I mean, I've got other things to go do.
Yeah.
You know, so we kind of, that's how, you know, I mean, but I never had the intent in leaving. I just wanted to show her that I was not going to listen to it, because I'd have just got in my car and turned it on and sat there for a few minutes. But she walked up and apologized and calmed down. And
It's amazing when they want something, how they'll
yeah,
turn around.
Yes. Yeah. And all she wanted to do is make a report about her son dog cussing her. And she wanted him to go to juvenile. That's it. That's all it was about.
I'd just take off my belt and like, here.
Well, I told her,
Go take care of it.
ma'am, you have every right to discipline your child. I'm not going to do it for you. And second of all, he didn't commit an offense to go to juvenile. So
Yeah.
what do you want me to do?
So going back to your beginning, what did you drive? The
Oh,
Chevy?
Yeah, well, I had a Crown Vic at the PD, and then I drove a.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to the Crown Vics in 99 too.
Yeah. It wasn't a new. Oh no, this is the old Crown Vic. This is like it was still almost had the square to it, you know, on the front.
Oh, I know what you're
Yeah.
Okay.
Before they started going to that slimmer look in the
Was
front.
it the bubble gums?
Yeah,
on
yeah,
on the top?
Yeah, I had bubble gums on top. And then I drove what they called the Chevy Shamu. It was the Chevy Caprice.
Yeah.
Had the LS1 engine in it.
Yeah.
That car could go.
So not only that, some of the guys that drove that car at where I'm at is they said something about flipping the air filter upside down or something, and it would just be so loud you can hear it like blocks away.
Are you talking about on the Chevy Caprice?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What is it? Flipping the air filter?
Yeah,
over,
I think.
or-
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was.
I never did it. Somebody else had done it in the car, but it also apparently gains like 10 more horsepower too, or something like that. I don't know. All I know is that LS1 in that thing, that thing would scream.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
We called it the pursuit vehicle.
Yeah. That's like the Chargers we had for a while.
Yeah.
Piece of
Man,
crap,
those Chargers though, they weren't built for law enforcement.
No.
Because we're rough on stuff.
Yeah, within 10,000 miles, we were replacing motor mounts, all our suspension.
Yeah.
It just
Oh, yeah.
returned so
Yeah.
hard on them at high speeds.
Well, I haven't driven the Tahoes. Are those a little bit better or?
Yeah, they handle it. They handle it pretty good.
Because let me tell you something. That Crown Vic with that 4.6.
Yeah.
Dude, we could abuse that vehicle, and that thing would just keep on going.
The Crown Vic was a golden car
Oh,
for
my
police
gosh.
for police work. But the problem is now Ford, I don't know what they're doing. They're still making them,
Mhm.
but they're special order, and they're like
Okay.
60,000 a piece.
Really?
Like, come on, really?
Man, they were so cheap back then. I mean, that's what every PD had was those Crown Vics.
Yeah.
Or every SO and PD. But, I mean, I think, and it's a little bit different for cities and like counties have got to have something that's tough because those
Yes.
county roads, they will
Potholes, mud.
destroy a suspension in a heartbeat. Some of the private roads I've gone down, like, I mean, freaking people had easier times landing on the surface of the moon going down some of those private roads, like hollowed out and everything else.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
4-wheel drive.
No, we never had 4-wheel drive.
Really?
We just had Crown Vics that we drove down
So
those
what
things.
happens if like a major call comes on one of those
Call-
dirt roads that are muddy?
Call a game warden or a constable that has a 4x4.
Get stuck all the way.
Say good luck, everybody.
Yeah.
'Cause I ain't getting to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'd find somebody. We'd get a way to get down there.
That's funny. So you said you had 26 years?
Mm-hmm.
Man. And how many agencies have you worked for?
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, agency-wise, 2. Entities, the other 2. I was an investigator for the state, and then of course I'm bailiffing now. But I work for a PD and then the sheriff's office.
Yeah. And so you went from the city policing, and that city, what was the population, would you say?
Oh man, Commerce. Well, Commerce is kind of funny because I guess when I worked at Commerce in 99, 2000, I guess the population of Commerce itself was probably 1,500, I guess. But with the university there and the college kids, when they were on campus, it went from 1,500 to 20,000 people. I mean, because there was kids everywhere.
What was it like the biggest issues you dealt with?
I tell you what, Commerce was definitely a training. Like, you learned a lot in Commerce. Man, I dealt with everything from aggravated assaults, drugs, you name it. It kind of came. It was a gambit of it.
Yeah, what was like your common one though? Like, we're known for assaults and mentals.
Oh, and over here, I almost said it. Oop.
It's all right, I got it.
But drugs. Yeah, I mean, it was very prevalent.
So, well, that's kind of like everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't even think of that. Everybody's on dope.
Yeah, well, in Commerce, it was kind of centrally located in just a certain part of town, and it was, but everything came off of that, It was robberies and assaults and, but it all came full circle back around to that one thing, So that was probably the main thing. Now the county was completely different. It was a lot of assault, family violence.
Really?
Yeah.
So I was just sitting here thinking, I remember early on in the county, game wardens, you name it, they'd be doing their job and just run across meth labs everywhere.
Now, drugs now down around the certain part area of this county, meth was very big.
The lake?
Oh, yeah, down by the lake. But, methamphetamine, in the early 2000s, that's when they were making Nazi meth, and they were making all their meth right there on these little rolling labs and things like that,
In the 2-liter bottles?
Yeah. And out in the county, there's a lot of assault, family violence, a lot of thefts, a lot of burglaries. Meth was that was about the most prevalent drug down in that area. And weed, of course, but weed's everywhere.
Yeah. Early 2000s, like crack made a huge
appearance
in the city.
Yeah, maybe up in the city, but in the county, I never came across crack.
Yeah,
It was always
that makes sense.
It
kind of does.
It was always meth.
Yeah, meth seems.
Now, if we now if we if we came across something up towards the city, you probably saw crack cocaine. But down that part of the county, it was all methamphetamine.
Yeah.
And that's when they were buying Sudafed by the basketfuls until that all got,
so they made it illegal.
Until make it illegal to buy more than two.
I think more than two.
2 or 3 or something like that.
And now you got to show your driver's license to buy.
Yeah, we
Sudafed.
would pop them coming out of Brookshire's, and they would have freaking basketfuls of Sudafed.
I just got bad allergies. I'm just congested,
Yeah, but of course we knew who the person was, and it's like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
We just arrested you for methamphetamine last week, so we know what you're doing. But of course they changed the precursors on that too, and they changed the law to where you could use that as probable cause to, investigate and, that was just one of the, precursors to make meth. Yeah. So if you pop somebody with a large quantity of Sudafed or whatever,
if that would fall under criminal instrument. Or,
I think so. Well,
there's another.
They made
in the health code.
Yeah, they made a law separate just for that.
I can't think of the title of it at the moment. I don't want to misquote it. Everybody call me out.
I know that's why we got phones. We ought to just fact check it real quick. But I'm not going to take the time to look it up. I know it's out there. I just don't know what it's called. Yeah. So
we'll figure it out at the jail.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not illegal anymore. You want to ride back?
Yeah. No.
You want to walk?
No. We'll get you a bus ticket.
Yeah.
But no. So, I worked at the PD in the county, and then I went from the SO, and I went over and became an investigator for the state. That was interesting. Yeah. That was different.
But before we go into that, real quick, I forgot to ask you about first and second positions at city and county. Mm-hmm. What kind of positions did you hold? Like you said something about training. Were you a field trainer officer?
Yeah, at the city PD, I was just a patrol officer.
Oh, okay.
And then I went over to the sheriff's office, and I eventually became a field training officer there. And I worked a little bit of interdiction. Yeah, but things were so different back there. We didn't have interdiction teams.
Right.
We just went up.
Now everything's organized.
Organized, yeah. It was pretty much, we went up and hung out on the interstate and we got dope. That's it. That's what we'd do for the night.
So you just did interdiction, and you said something about training other officers. Were you an official field training officer?
Yeah, I was official field training officer. I did that for a little bit. Kind of got burned out on it pretty quick.
It can be exhausting.
It is, and I trained probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 officers, and I just got to the point I was ready to do something different, and so then I went into investigations after that.
Okay. Cool. And now you said you went to become a state investigator?
Yeah, so actually I was an investigator at the sheriff's office, and then I took the civil mental health deputy spot, and I did that for about a year or two. And that was completely different than anything I'd ever done. That was a whole different world right there. Yeah. Dealing with mental health patients and civil stuff and all that.
What'd you do on the mental health side?
So what my main job is that our SOPs, back then, everything was very, like you said, unorganized. And the way we were handling mental patients was they'd pick them up, they'd bring them to the sheriff's office, they'd sit in a room with a video screen, and I think it was called North Star was the like the thing they were trying. Yeah. And you would sit in this room with them for like 6 hours. Yeah. And someone would finally pop up on the screen.
Are you talking like 3 a.m. or are you talking
I'm
regular anytime?
Anytime. Oh, it took forever all the time. Yeah. So they either popped up on the screen or they came in person. So once I got the mental health deputy spot, I was sitting there thinking, like, this can't be right. Like, why are we taking a patrol officer off the street for 6 hours, first of all? Yeah. And this isn't good for the person that's in a crisis in the first place. So I started doing my homework, and I started looking, and lo and behold, there was a thing called APOW, apprehension without a warrant, that we could use on mental health patients to transport them directly to a hospital. So I started reading the laws on that, and I figured out, I was like, why haven't we been doing this? And another thing that was kind of crazy, and certain PD got mad at me for this, but we were coming all the way from out in the county to pick up mental health patients within city limits.
Oh, you're responsible for that?
Yes, I am responsible for that.
Dang it.
My tires will probably be...
And we're done.
Yeah, and we're done. No, I am. No. I am. And you think I'd have started World War III, but
I bet.
I did.
And all it is, I mean, we don't even leave the city, usually.
Yeah.
Usually.
You just take them to this facility that's here in town. And
Yes.
and they can't refuse it on an APAL. That's the thing.
On an APAL, yeah. But on the
EDOs, yeah.
man, that's bad. There's a certain judge that will send us clear across half the state.
Yes, and that's at the discretion of the judge that signs that EDO. They get to send you to wherever. That's why I encouraged officers. If you had a situation where you knew somebody needed help and to take them to a mental health facility, you don't have to go through anybody else. Mm-hmm. You can APAL them, but now you need to make sure that you dictate and write down exactly why you think they're a danger to themselves and others, and then take them to the nearest mental health facility. Now, when we first started this, we were going to facility over in the Dallas area all the time.
I remember that. I took several there.
And then one opened up in McKinney at one time that they started taking them to, and then these facilities. Unfortunately, the state of Texas, I think they're ranked like 48 out of 50 states for mental health, and the budget keeps getting cut all the time for mental health, and it's just...
And it shows.
It shows, because we're chasing our tails, I mean, completely with mental health. And there's better ways. I think we only have, 2 state hospitals open in the state of Texas now?
Thank God one's semi-close to us.
Yeah, and it's hard to get into.
Yeah.
Because either the beds are always full or,
Yeah.
But, so yeah, I started a civil war within agencies. I changed our SOP. And we told the other agency that we are not coming in to get your mental health patients. That'll be your responsibility.
It's your problem.
Well, but it is, because it says sheriff's office, peace officers,
and that's fine. It really isn't. It wasn't that big of it. You know how it is. And you change one thing, anything in law enforcement.
It was a big deal in the beginning,
right? That's what they blow it up out of proportion.
I got a phone call at 2:00 in the morning from a certain supervisor that dog cussed me. And he was like, "You're coming." And I said, "No, we're not." And he goes, "Yes, you are." I said, "No, we're not." And I hung up on him.
Yeah.
And they all did. I mean, they did it, But then it just became, once they figured it out, how easy it was and a lot less time. You weren't taking guys off the street for an amount of time. And they got to the point where they were okay with it.
Yeah. But that's what I was saying. Just the whole, you change one little thing, everybody's like,
law enforcement is the worst about change, man.
Yeah.
Like, they are so used to doing something a certain way, and you put in just a little change into it, and oh my God, the sky's falling, you know? So, yeah, that's just law enforcement.
On the topic of mental health, and this is something I wondered myself, well, I pretty much have my own opinion, but does it seem to you like the mental health, I don't want to call it a problem, but situation, people with mental health has increased dramatically over the last, 10 years? Like, everybody seems to have some mental issue.
Yeah, and there's it has a lot to do with, society, drug use. I think it's always been there, but it's like anything in the past 10 years, everything's out front now. Mm-hmm. Anything that nobody really knew about, everybody knows about it now because social media, and it's just, everything is just up front. And I think the mental health thing has always been around, and it's been prevalent, but now everybody can see it, and everybody's like, oh wow, where's this? Well, it's always been here, because officers have been dealing with this forever. Yeah, and that's another thing too. I'm glad, like the SO down here in this area, they have designated mental health deputies now.
Yeah, we do too.
I've been screaming for that for a long time when I worked there. Like, you need more than one person.
Yeah,
you have to have a unit. You have to have at least 5 to 6 or however, but you got to have guys that are trained on it, know how to handle the situations, and know what to do and know the law of it.
Yeah.
And it's going to make life on everybody easier. But you're actually getting these people. I think, back in the day, once again, things the way it used to be, if you found somebody with mental health issues out in the county, you'd drive them to the next county line and drop them off. Yeah. And I know of a certain individual.
Call that the Blue Highway?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, or the mental highway, either way, whatever you want to call it. But I knew a certain individual one night the guy, he was paranoid schizophrenic. He told us he wasn't bothering anybody. He's talking to himself, and somebody freaked out. I think that guy made 5 trips across the county one night.
Good.
He'd get to
across your county,
Yeah,
or
he got
across different counties?
different counties. He got all the way out past past 2 counties over.
That's sad, but it's funny at the same time.
He got all the way over there, and they drove him all the way back to a county on the other side of us. And this happened like 5 times in a night. And finally, someone asked him, like, where do you want to go? He was like, well, I got a house up over here. I would like to go. But that's the thing.
Back in this county?
Yeah, he lived in the county. This dude made trips back and forth, and it's like, but officers back, they're better now, but back then they didn't know how to deal with anybody in that, because they're not trained psychologists, or
No. Still not.
still not. You know, they're not doctors. They don't know. They're not trained for that.
Yeah.
So they don't know how to handle. Now we've gotten a lot better at it. You know, because you have crisis intervention training and mental health. You know, all that. So officers have a little bit better idea. But yeah, that was the game that was played back then. Or they would arrest them for public intoxication.
Yeah.
Just to get them off the streets
For being mental.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, yes. I mean that was just how it was back then.
Yeah, I've never done that. I really haven't.
No.
I try to now they come off as intoxicated almost because they're talking crazy sometimes, and I say crazy in a sensitive light, but like they're just like they're like talk about people that aren't there, but it's not like a schizophrenic type. It's a more I don't know. They're wobbling and just seem intoxicated. And it's harder. You got to really differentiate between. Are they drunk? Or they have a mental
it
episode?
is. It's very tough, because especially as somebody that has, like paranoid schizophrenia and bipolar depression and things like that. It messes with the chemistry of your brain.
Yeah.
And like paranoid schizophrenia, it causes atrophy on hands. It causes wobbling. Like you might think they are drunk, and there's probably other underlying issues going on with that mental health problem too, cerebral palsy, and there's different things that they could have that could cause them to look like they're intoxicated. I totally understand what you're saying, and I've seen it before too.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're gonna wrap up this episode. I don't even know what to title it. Sasquatch, UFO, mental.
Sasquatch meets mental health.
Yeah. Stay tuned or click on the next one or whatever. We're going to continue on with Brandon here in a bit. Until then, don't let your kids climb in totes.